and then we have the dawn of hope, and then we have the day. And once that occurs, that day, coming alive, feeling, being resurrected into a new day will automatically follow. In the Gospel of Matthew, again, chapter 28, the angels of the Lord came down from heaven and went up and rolled away the stone from the door and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his garments were as white as snow. And for fear of him, the guards who were watching trembled and became as if they were dead. But the angel answered, saying to the women, "You need not be afraid, for I know that you are seeking Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, just as he said he would." Easter is that new day. It is the new day for all of us. Why not? Even when everything appears dead in our lives, if we have faith, if we have trust, if we invite just the glimmer of that light into our lives, the dawn of hope will live on in us. This is a guarantee. But we have to be willing to take the step toward the light of God. We will always rise again to new levels of hope. Just that little bit of hope. This is the promise of Easter. This is the promise of Easter. Remember the words of Walter Starkey in It's All God. The breaking up of old forms is Easter's prelude to a new level of life on earth. A new level of life on earth. Every time we cross that negativity in our consciousness, we are resurrected. Every time we counter a negative situation, we are resurrected. We are born again. Every time we move forward and trust that God is present, that power will not desert us. It will always be there to guide us, to show us the way into that place of connection, of oneness. That's why we're all here, in this room, right here on this day, so that we could be resurrected into this new way of being, of living our lives with ease, with joy, with peace. As the Apostle Paul said, we are transformed by the renewing of our minds. And as Ernest Holmes said, change your thinking, change your life. Choose a new thought. Be willing to choose a new thought. When we have the mind in us that Christ Jesus had, there is a transformation, a regeneration that happens in every cell of our body, temple, and our mind. The glory of Easter is upon us as we rise and go forth in the daylight of our new consciousness. Our consciousness is our awareness. And so as we shift our awareness to be open to greater good, that is the shift in consciousness then that occurs. And I believe, my friends, that right now, this time that we are in is the second coming of Christ. The second coming is not when Jesus descends upon humankind, but when humankind ascends in consciousness. Are we raising our consciousness up? Are we raising it up? That is the shift. That is the second coming. We experience the daylight of a resurrected consciousness, and we go forth in this new consciousness and we share it. This is our transformation, our way, our new way of thinking, of being. The shift in awareness, this recognition of this magnificent power that is the truth of our very being. It is that part of us that can never be separate. It is that essence of love that is present within each and every one of us that connects us in the oneness. Sometimes we're separated from it, we think. But in true reality, we can never be separated in the oneness of God's love. It's an impossibility. So are you willing this Easter morning to let yourself be resurrected into a daylight of ascended consciousness? I am. I am. If you are, just simply say, I am. I'll do a wedding for you. Are we ready for the second coming of Christ? By accepting, but yeah, we are all ready. By accepting the darkness. The darkness is part of the Easter cycle. Okay, it's a cycle. We're all in these cycles. So it's a cycle, and by trusting God even more than the darkness in and of itself is not a reality. Only the light is the true reality. There is not, I love to say this, there is not a darkness switch. There is only a light switch. I always think I make these things up and then I read them somewhere else. Today is a very, very powerful day. And those things which you commit to today will have a lifelong effect in your life. Today, you commit to the fullness and the wholeness of who you are to Spirit, to God, to the God of your being, an infinite source of pure goodness. Today, you commit to finding the dawn of hope. Just be a little willing, a little open to know that there is a dawn of hope, just in that step of hope. All things are then possible. Today you stand in the sun, claiming your spiritual birthright through a consciousness resurrected in the light of day, the light of peace, of power, of love. There was a song I once heard, and it had a chorus in it that said, "And when the long night has been fought and won, we'll stand in the sun and we'll raise our hands and we will touch the sky. Together we will dance in the robes of gold." And that is what a consciousness resurrected to the day looks like. That's what it looks like. My hope, my prayer is that this very day, each and every one of us has a consciousness that is resurrected, And if this is so, then the way shower, the master teacher, our brother Jesus has done his job well in giving us many different lessons to follow. God is love, remember that. The darkness will always be cast out by the lightness of our awareness, a resurrected consciousness. And so at this time, I'd like to anchor this talk into the law, which we speak